Carrie, thanks so much. Well, there's no cure, and it's the 6th leading cause of death in the U.S. We're talking about Alzheimer's disease, and when it comes to getting a diagnosis, knowledge is power. The Alzheimer's Association of Greater Dallas is presenting its annual Mid-Share Lecture Series in April, and one of the keynote speakers is Beverly Sanborn. She's a social worker and VP of Program Development for Belmont Village Senior Living. Beverly, how are you today?
I'm fine, thank you.
I think there's a lot of misconceptions about Alzheimer's. We don't realize that dementia and Alzheimer's, we're talking 1 in 3 seniors die with dementia. It's a fatal disease, and I don't believe that people really understand what it's all about.
Yes, they don't really understand it. I think they may know that it's a fatal disease, but what people tend to think is that when you get a diagnosis of Alzheimer's, it's hopeless, that everything's over, there's nothing you can do. And actually, that isn't true.
Okay.
When you get an Alzheimer's diagnosis, you really have about 4 to 20, it could be as much as 20 years to live. And that life can actually be a life that is rich and full of interesting, purposeful, and meaningful activities if you're in an environment that's an enriched environment. So it doesn't have to be a hopeless kind of a diagnosis.
Okay, we love to hear that kind of news, and there's things that we can do for prevention too. You deal with families struggling on a daily basis, so what kind of things do you do to help them cope with their new life?
Well, for families, in contrast to the person who has the dementia, that person can have a very interesting life. But for the families, it really is care grieving. It isn't just caregiving, it's care grieving. It's a very difficult thing to watch your loved one gradually decline. So the most important thing that families need is education, and that's why the Mindshare series is so important, and what the Alzheimer's chapter is doing is really absolutely critical.
Let's talk about the Mind Sharing series, because there's so much hope in here, and about keeping an active mind and about healthy aging. The things that you'll be speaking on are motivation to anybody, even someone, as you said to me before the segment, my age should be thinking about this.
Right, that's right. Well, now, the research is showing that you are beginning to have changes in your brain 20 years before a symptom appears. So you really need to start a regimen of not only physical fitness, because the physical is extremely important in maintaining healthy aging, but mental fitness as well.
Talk about mental fitness, because that's a cool term to me, and that's something that we can kind of all wrap our brain around and think of, what do I need to be doing to keep my mind healthy now?
Well, mental fitness is it's a researched kind of entity now, and there's evidence that tells us that if you exercise your brain in very specific ways, you can probably maintain your brain much longer, even if you have mild dementia.
Wow.
You can maintain your mental functioning much, much longer. You can delay symptoms. You can't cure Alzheimer's, but you can delay the symptoms.
How do we exercise our brain? Can you give examples of what we might be able to do now?
Well, you can play brain games. Brain games are
like
Sudoku and crosswords, but that's not enough. It's a whole range of things that you need to do. You need to exercise your mind and your body simultaneously. For example, amazingly enough, square dancing, where you have to memorize body movements, and then you have to move your body and use your memory.
Okay, so it's like kind of you're walking, you're talking, you're interacting, but it's also the memory of the different counts of 8. I like that. That's a great idea. Okay, there's so many good information here, but we want to talk about the Mindshare Lecture Series events, how people can register, and attendance and all of that good stuff.
Yes, it's free to the public, but they can register online. And the Mindshare is going to cover the whole range of what Alzheimer's is about and what you can do, and we're going to end with all sorts of brain games that you're going to be able to play at home.
That's great. So then we can share this with our family, we can share this with our loved ones, and we can utilize this. So I'm going to take the note today, Beverly, that I should be exercising my brain and focusing on mental fitness too, because prevention is our best defense, right?
Yes,
okay, we like that a lot, and we're going to give all the information now for those of you who would like to log on to this website. It's alz.org, or you can call the 24/7 helpline. Here's the number to know. It's 800-272-3900. Beverly, thank you so much for being here. We look forward to the Mindshare series, and Carrie, we're going to send it over to you.
All right, Amy, thank you. So now that the Oscar buzz has faded,